Hey guys, big review today. Big review today. And boy, I gotta tell you, it's gonna be it's gonna be a little wild in here, if you know what I'm saying. So I've been feeling lately. I've been feeling that I'm wondering. I can only imagine. I can only imagine the videos. If the big review videos, if they're not doing great. I can only imagine that happening and people being like, man, I can see people now, possibly, I could see people now saying, man, these videos are just not crazy enough. I wonder about that last video, and I'm wondering if people are like, man, that video just not crazy enough. You know what I mean? So, not like crazy, but like I think people want to see a little bit of, I don't know, like pizzazz or like energy or like fervor or spunk or spontaneity or like that magic. What better word for it than that magic? That kind of spark of inspiration or something I call, I guess, a little crazy, but yeah. So and I was thinking about it, and I was like, the Dingus reviews is kind of at his like Dingus, like my channel is kind of at its peak, when I'm reviewing cereal. When I review cereal, it can get crazy. I get comments all the time like, oh my gosh, like whenever this guy reviews cereal, like it's like, man, like it just goes in ways that I don't expect, and I'm kind of like thinking about like how cereal reviews could be, and how like here I was thinking that cereal reviews had to be this way, and then he does it that way, and I'm like, what just happened? Am I right? What did I just watch? Like when you're watching a video and you're like, what did I just watch? Like I think and a lot of people have said that, and I think a lot of people would, but so that happens. And like I always review cereals, like I'm on my channel, I'm always reviewing like cereals a little bit different every time. You're not going to get the same cereal review video every time. It's always going to be like, what's he going to do next? Like, what am I going to do next? And so I think that's what the big reviews series has been missing is me just kind of going a little nutso. just kind of going wild, bananas, crazy, bonkers, and a little bit insane, like just a little bit of that. Just kind of my, if I, like Joker type, like, you wouldn't last, 10 minutes in the asylum that I grew up, in that asylum, or like, taking a peek into my twisted psyche, like a mere mortal would not, if they were in my twisted psyche, they'd be like, that's kind of crazy. So we're going to do that today. We're going to go a little crazy. And so that's what's going to happen. And so today, you probably already guessed by the title because I put it in there, but, we got a cereal. We got, ladies and gentlemen, we got one. And it's called, well, you could already guess by the title, but it's called, Crumbl Cereal. And let's get the whole box in there. Crumbl Cereal, chocolate chip cookie, by Kellogg's. That's what the cereal looks like. And it doesn't have games on the back or anything. It has a bunch of cookies and milk, and it says love at first bite, and it's given a little bit of I guess this is like history of Crumbl, so for those of you who don't know, we'll start there because you might not even have heard of Crumbl, which is kind of crazy because I guess I hadn't heard of it until, I don't know, like a couple months ago, but if you're not aware of like the Crumbl story, what is Crumbl? Where did Crumbl come? Where did Crumbl come from? And why are they doing cereal? I'm sure you have all sorts of questions, and I know I did. And don't you worry, because by the time this video is over, all your questions will be answered. So Crumbl is a cookie, like a bakery, I guess, like a cookie establishment where you purchase cookies, is kind of the gist of it. And I guess they kind of do cookies like a little bit differently than your typical bakery. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of do things a little bit different. It kind of like what we do here on the channel. So they do things a little bit differently, and they're kind of they're kind of a disruptor in the space. We always like those disruptors, because they really shake things up. So and Crumbl is one of those. So Crumbl, relatively, they're not your like Baskin Robbins, or like they're not your typical bakery. You know what I mean? They're not your typical bakery establishment or cookie establishment, I guess. And they do things they do things uniquely, let's say, and they're kind of known for their pink for the pink aesthetic, or like they use pink a lot in their kind of packaging and stuff, as evidenced by this box. It's very pink, pretty much all over, and so that's what they do. That's kind of their thing, and they've kind of been doing that, and so and that's what they do. And so what they've done recently as well, in addition to the cookie thing, it's like, if we're, are we just going to be just a cookie company? I imagine is what they said. Like, I don't know if that's what they said, but like, that must have been the thought that was kind of going through their mind. Like, are we just forever going to be like a cookie company, and I guess the answer is no, because they did come out with a cereal, and they use their classic, who could go wrong with a chocolate chip, with a classic chocolate chip cookie? And not only that, but they put their own spin on things, because I just noticed like a few minutes ago that it's not just called chocolate chip cookie. You see that? That's chocolatey chip cookie to you, sir. Like, excuse me, sir. That'll be Mr. chocolatey chip cookie to you, for you, sir. Like that's kind of a fun joke. But anyway, so they have that cereal going, and so that's what it is, and that's the cereal that is kind of on store shelves, I guess. At this point it is kind of currently on store shelves, and who knows how long it may continue, and if they kind of survive that volatile cereal market. It's just hard to kind of stay on top, and kind of find your place, and find your foothold. Get your foothold in that foot in the door in the industry. It's kind of hard to do, but they're disrupting it. They're kind of swinging their way in there and disrupting things. So we'll see, we'll see if they disrupt, and then and they find their place. The only time will tell. But until then, we have a cereal, and I haven't eaten it yet, and I don't really plan to, because it does have wheat ingredients. Focus. Contains wheat ingredients. There you go. So it does have wheat ingredients, and I am currently not eating wheat or wheat ingredients. Though it does have, the main one is oat flour. Whole grain oat flour, cornmeal. Yeah, so there might not be. I don't know what. That doesn't. I don't know. Do mine eyes deceive me? I don't see a wheat ingredient in there. But whatever. I mean, I don't know. But you don't want to take that risk. Even if it says whole grain oat flour and sugar. Sometimes you just don't want to take that risk, and that's probably what I'm not going to do today or after today. But anyway, one thing you can't deny is don't those cookies look good? Don't those, and even the big cookie, like, doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look tasty? You know what I'm saying? So, like, they did a pretty good job kind of showcasing, how tasty the cereal might be, or probably, or is. I don't know. Like again, I don't know how successful it is. So only time will tell how tasty people find it. But who can deny how good it looks on the box, and also who can deny that they do have their signature pink color kind of on that box, like who can deny that? So yeah, and that's from Kellogg's, and they're kind of doing a lot of cereal work nowadays, and yeah, so that it's kind of crazy, kind of how they kind of entered that market, and so that's kind of how this video is crazy. You know what I mean? And like. And I could do other things to kind of make it crazy and get a little abstract with it. Like what if I I could do this. Like boom. And look at that. Isn't that crazy? I'm Crumbl Cereal, like ooh, like I might say like I've been in the cookie business for however many years, and here I am with my cereal. I am the cereal. Like you might get a little Arnold Schwarzenegger with it, but like, but yeah. So yeah. So as far as Crumbl cereal goes, I haven't eaten it, but I can only assume that it's at least not bad, so I don't know if I can give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know if I can do that, but I don't know if I can give it a 1 out of 10. So for now, we'll change it later, maybe later it will change, but until then, I think I'm going to have to leave it with a simple, just kind of a standard 5 out of 10. Thank you.